So on Thursday the 28th of September, Rockstar promised us something, and that something was the brand new trailer, which has exploded. I mean, I've got loads of thoughts and theories, and instead of just me talking about my thoughts and theories, I thought I would bring a friend to talk about my thoughts and theories.
Howdy doodle.
Howdy doodle. So today I've got Ben here. We're going to be going over the trailer, and I've watched the trailer about 15-20 times now. I've made loads of notes on each scene, and I've just analysed this so much. I'm so excited for it. So we're going to go through the trailer, and we're going to come up with some theories. We're going to come up with some, what we expect from the game and what we're excited about. So should we talk about the gameplay first? Because I feel like we should get into the, the big story nitty gritty of it in just a second, because that's going to be most of the video. But so from what we saw in the trailer, it looks like we've got plenty of different biomes. We've got the forest, we've got the swamp, we've got the snow, we've got the mountains, we've got deserts. So I mean, in the first game there was pretty much all of that anyway, wasn't there? There wasn't loads of snow, but if you went right up north there was a bit of snow, wasn't there?
Yeah, in tall trees.
Yeah, so that's all pretty much the same. I'm expecting to see, it's the Wild West, so you're not going to have the Sahara Desert slap bang in the middle just because let's add a new biome, But in the trailer, Mr. Morgan, who is our character, by the way, we'll talk about him in just a second, he mentions that we've got lawmen chasing after us in 3 different states.
We got lawmen in 3 different states after us.
So perhaps, that's an indication as to how big the map's going to be. I don't know if he's just... Maybe they're already wanted when we start the game.
Yeah.
Or maybe we go through those 3 states, and maybe even more states than that, and we get chased throughout the campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be pretty cool, because in the first game you weren't chased at all, you were chasing.
Yeah.
So it'd be pretty cool to be chased by the law, that would be thrilling, to say the least. And it does look like you do run with a gang of some kind, whether it be Dutch's or your own gang.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be more chasing than chased rather than chasing this time. And hopefully the 3 different states will be true to the game, and we'll have a massive ass environment. There was actually a map. I'll put it on the screen right now. There was actually a map released when the teaser trailer came out, but it didn't really give us a perfect look as to how big the map's actually going to be and what's it going to be like. There's also hunting again, which hunting was one of my favourite parts about Red Dead Redemption, to be honest. Spent so long doing that. And this time you can dual wield guns and use bows.
Pretty baller.
Which, oh yeah, that's one thing they were missing in the first game.
Yeah, it was kind of linear and static, your movement. It was kind of pull out a gun and shoot it. Now it looks like there's going to be a lot more versatility in the way that you kill shit.
Exactly, and you can't have a Western without dual wielding fucking revolvers,
Baller.
And obviously in the teaser trailer they were dual wielding as well, and everyone was like, oh, can we dual wield? And then in this trailer again, the main character we play as is dual wielding. So if they don't actually allow us to dual wield in the game, I'm gonna fucking sue.
It's ridiculous.
It's basically confirmed.
It better be.
And the bow and arrow, of course, that's something that I was always like in Red Dead Redemption. They should have bow and arrow, why not? So it's nice to see that they've added that as well.
It adds you possibly a stealth approaches as well, because obviously there aren't any suppressors. Well, not really back then, so it's going to give you a lot more options.
I didn't even think about that.
Taking stuff. Yeah, that just came to me off the top of my head.
So there's like I mean, I always end up fucking trying a stealth approach and then fucking it up completely. But I didn't even think of that. Yeah, so maybe we'll get some missions, that you can opt to do stealth or loud or... Yeah, that'd be actually really cool to see.
But just quickly with the maps again, you saw them walking through the water, which was obviously something you couldn't do if you went ankle deep in water in the first one. You'd just die.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And also, when you're in the snow, you don't really tread through the snow, but in the trailer they were like actually pushing through it and it was moving. So it looks like the map's going to be a little more interactive rather than just something you're just in.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'd expect that from 2010 Red Dead Redemption came out, and since then, especially on the next gen consoles, if you want to call it next gen by now, the technology's got so good. I'll be kind of disappointed if stuff like that wasn't there. I'll be like, come on, Rockstar, get with the game, you know.
Yeah.
As well as gameplay, we've got, you know, we've got the train robberies. That's quite apparent. You can rob banks as normal.
Yep.
You can do camping as well. I'm assuming it'll be to save your game again. You know, but at the start of the trailer there, he was camping. So you got all the normal gameplay mechanics, but that's not what anyone's interested about. What everyone's interested in is what the fuck is going on with the story. Because, did you see all the speculation when the teaser came out?
Yeah, I watched it. It was all about it's probably going to be a prequel and we're going to be running with John and his gang.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Everyone was saying, yeah, we'll probably be running with, you know, John and his gang. That's what the teaser appeared to be. But now there's been some very interesting scenes that completely change the game. So you play as Morgan. From what I've seen from Wikipedia, people calling him Arthur Morgan, but I'm not sure if that's the confirmed name. It just said Mr. Morgan in the trailer. But okay, so first scene that, you know, came to mind for me, Mr. Morgan has never been mentioned before in either Red Dead Revolver or Red Dead Redemption. Looked it up, no one's ever heard of this guy before, so he's completely new. But later on in the trailer, he is talking to Dutch. He's very clearly, you know, Dutch says, "Have you always got my back?" And he says, "Of course."
Do you have my back? Always, Dutch.
So
He even says Dutch, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So it's clear
they're
that
very clearly close friends,
yeah.
you know, they work closely together. And we'll talk about the later scenes where, you know, Bill Williamson is clearly seen, or, you know, we speculate to be seen. But first of all, we're just going chronological order. So 33 seconds into the trailer, we've got a scene where, what does he say? I've written it down here.
Maybe when your mother's finished mourning your father, I'll keep her in black on your behalf.
Yeah.
Now, it took me a while to understand. I mean, you've just told me exactly what that sentence understands, but it took me a while to realise that looks a lot like Jack Marston.
Yeah, and
Abigail.
The person mourning looks, I mean, you don't really get a good angle of her, but it looks like it could be Abigail, and it looks like it could be Jack.
Yeah, it does look like Jack Marston, doesn't it? It looks very similar. I'll put a screenshot of Jack Marston, Red Dead Redemption, and in the trailer. They do look very, very similar.
Yeah, it looks between his youth stage and his badass cowboy stage.
Yeah.
So it could be him.
So, I mean, my first thought was, oh, okay, so we're not running with John's gang, you know? It happens after John dies at the end of Red Dead Redemption. Perhaps he knew John in some way and he's trying to get revenge, or maybe he's just a new outlaw
Well,
that's, you know...
John killed his whole gang.
Yeah.
Both of them, so...
That's what I thought, like... Because John killed his whole gang, so is he a gang member that either got away, somehow knows John, or is it just random, and he's a completely new outlaw, and he just happens to run into Jack Marston just after John dies, and it's just a bit of a story... Here we go.
I think the timeline is going to span for such a long time, because bearing in mind, if that's Jack, that's without a doubt Jack after John dies. But you see him talking to Dutch, which John killed.
Yeah.
So either it's going to be a very, very long time span, or there's going to be stuff like flashbacks, memories. It's going to kind of like say, yeah, this is what happened beforehand, and this is now.
Yeah, well, in that case, let's talk about Dutch. So, that looks like Jack Marston. We don't know whether, you know, where that falls in with the storyline here. And you just mentioned Dutch. So, yeah, as you said, Dutch comes to this end at the end of Red Dead Redemption.
Our time has passed, John.
Trust me, it looks better in the report that way.
So there's no way Dutch survived.
Yeah.
Alright, he fell off a
his
cliff
whole-
and then got shot.
His whole gang didn't survive.
Yeah, exactly.
The
They're
whole
all
point
dead.
of Red Dead is to go and kill your old gang,
Yeah.
so your family could be safe.
So, in that case, you can't have Morgan in two places at once. He can't be talking to Jack after John's died and be talking to Dutch, you know, at the same time, you know? So, as you said, I think, to be honest, at this point, I think it will span over a very long period of time, and it'll be that, you know, Mr. Morgan did jobs for Dutch and the gang beforehand. He ran off and fucked off somewhere, And then after John's died, he's come back.
Yeah.
And he's now, either raising his own gang or,
I think
stuff like
there
that.
might be a lot of, like, several years later, and then it cuts to, like, Morgan comes back or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I'd prefer, but I kind of hope it goes on for quite a while, because then I feel like then you can really see the build of characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You can see their reactions to what John was doing as well. Like, I think seeing their side of the story. I was saying earlier the fact that the antagonists from the last game are probably going to be the protagonists in this one. It's kind of interesting to see the other side.
And also later on, there's more evidence to back up the fact that Mr. Morgan ran with Dutch and his gang, because we've got the scene when the mansion's on fire in the background, and we've got 3 characters here. On the right, that's clearly Mr. Morgan. That's the exact same stuff he's been wearing throughout the whole trailer, so we're just going to assume that's Morgan.
Yep, looks like him.
But got on the left, a lot of people have been speculating, and I agree, that's a younger version of Bill Williamson, right?
I'm willing to bet money on that. That is, if that isn't Bill Williams, then they've bloody pranked us.
Yeah, and again, that character showed up in the teaser trailer. He was riding a horse.
Yeah, and the hat
At the start of the treason, yeah, and everyone was like, "That's Bill's hat."
Yeah.
And again, it took me. It was about the 9th time I was watching this. I paused on this frame and I went, "Oh my god, that's Bill!"
I noticed that at first.
Bill, how
I'm
you
like,
doing?
"Oh, yeah, Bill."
I didn't even notice, but yeah, that's definitely Bill's hat, and that's definitely Bill's beard. I mean, it looks like a definite younger version of Bill, So whether that is Bill or not, I mean, I think everyone's come to the conclusion that yeah, come on, that's definitely got to be Bill. As you say, if it's not with him pranked massively.
Top 10 anime portrayals.
Yeah. But one thing that I don't really agree with, and a lot of people are speculating, a lot of people are saying that the guy in the middle there is John Marston.
I did just have a brainwave.
What?
So, in the first one, you
Yeah.
could obviously get costumes and different outfits.
Yeah.
One of them was a kind of suited attire.
Yeah, I do remember that one, yeah.
It just came to me, that could be John in the attire. I don't know if it looks exactly the same, but it looks kind of similar, and could just be him with short hair. So it could be. That'd be
definitely
interesting
could be.
if it was if the costume was kind of transferred over. I think that'd be a cool little detail.
Yeah, and the scene cuts, like, you see Bill Williamson's face in the light there, quite clear. You can make out facial features. Same with Mr. Morgan.
Yeah.
And to be honest, no one's hiding Mr. Morgan as a character, so they didn't have no reason to. But this guy in the middle,
The fact that he's
There's
in the
no-
middle and
yeah.
at the front as well, he's
Exactly.
closest, so that makes me think
He's
that
very significant,
very
isn't he?
important. He
he's
doesn't
very
look like
significant,
Dutch,
very
doesn't-
important.
Doesn't look like anyone we've seen.
Yeah.
And they've covered out his face, so you have no idea.
Yeah, scene cuts before you actually get a proper look at his face. So, I mean, knowing Rockstar, they love their Easter eggs, don't they?
Yeah.
And they love their hidden secrets. So, I wouldn't be surprised if, even when I was going through each scene and pausing it, I was pausing it looking at people in the background, because I was expecting Rockstar to stick John Marston in the background somewhere talking to someone,
I think it's going to be so... I can't wait to see what they do with it, because whatever they do, I think it's just going to have gamers gushing across the world.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's probably one of the most beloved characters of any game ever. I think there's not much debate in that. But,
Oh, yeah, he's an
so
absolute legend.
if they show him in this, it's just going to be... It's going to be bloody insanity. The world's going to go crazy at it. And I cannot wait.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Actually, after having this conversation, I'm a bit more on the side of maybe that's John. But, I don't know. I'm judging it on his hat.
Yeah.
He had a feather in his hat, didn't he, in the first game, if I remember the details correctly?
That doesn't look like his hat, but I think he had a different hat in the thing, the outfit. I'm gonna have a look at that outfit.
Yeah,
real
take a
quick
look
if
at the outfit, because obviously you could get multiple outfits in Red Dead Redemption 1, so it's very likely. But I don't know, I was judging it on his body build, the way he walked, but obviously you can't really judge it. You can judge a real person on that, but it's an animated character, and they most likely would have changed the character model a little bit, They most likely would have changed the character, how the characters move. So I can't really judge it on the way that he moves, the way that he holds himself, because it's going to be very different anyway.
Yeah, but as you said, it does fit in with what he said about in the first game about their gang very much screwed over the rich and helped the poor.
Yeah, and that was my next point. That's why at first I was like, well, that's clearly Bill, that's John, and that's Morgan, because John said himself in the first game, we stole from the rich and gave to the poor, and we killed people we didn't like, you know?
Yeah.
I rode in gang. We robbed trains, banks, held people ransom. We killed people we didn't like.
I think that's a direct quote, actually, if I remember
No,
rightly.
yeah, I think,
That's
I'm
exactly
just
what he
getting
said.
nostalgic
Yeah,
memories from
yeah,
that.
yeah. So, very likely, actually. Okay, I'm more on the side that maybe that's John now,
Could
but...
be. It'll be interesting to see who it is if it isn't him.
Yeah, exactly. It's clearly someone very important.
Yeah.
So, I think we've established, you know, Dutch is definitely a guy. That's definitely Bill Williamson. I'm willing to bet money that that's
Yeah,
Bill.
I'm 100% on that.
And John's got to come into it sooner or later.
I
If
cannot
that's not
wait.
John, he will show up at some point.
Yeah.
Surely. You know, everyone's waiting for the moment his face appears and his voice,
Oh, dude.
you know,
if they get
rings
the
through the
same- if they
speakers
get
once
the
more.
Same voice actor, in which they will, hopefully. Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know. What are you most excited about?
Well, aside from seeing and hearing John again, if they do that, I don't know. I don't think I can pick on one, but it's all it's all just. I think you can't pin one thing down. It's just going to be such a. Considering how good the first one was and how long ago that was brought out, if they take their time and if they make this as good as they can, then I reckon it's going to be such a bloody good game.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah, the first game was the game that got me into hardcore gaming. Like, you know, that game was the first game I sat down for like 12 hours at a time and actually, you know, played consistently. And I'm a sucker for story. So if they make this game work really well with a new story, but ties in with the old story, and we find out, you know, how this guy, Morgan, relates to Dutch's gang and John and all that stuff. If they do that really well, and they throw a curveball at me halfway through the game, and I was like, I wasn't expecting that. This has happened.
I think they 100%
Yeah,
will.
hopefully Rockstar will do that in their story, because I've never thought Rockstar have been great on the whole story element. Like,
I disagree, actually. Well, considering how good the first Red Dead was.
oh yeah, the first Red Dead was a really good
GTA 5's
story.
campaign I thought was bloody phenomenal. Overall, that was just really well put together, and considering they had 3 different main characters to work on, I think that was okay. There are obviously smaller games that they make, but I think on their big titles, they've got some friggin' amazing writers on them. And all the other stuff.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping the story blows our minds. But for all you Red Dead fans out there, what are you guys thinking? Obviously, we picked out, you know, most of what everyone else has picked out, you know. When I watched the trailer, when it first came out, I was kind of expecting everyone to point out Bill Williamson. Maybe that's John Marston, you know. Oh, Dutch, haha, you know. But noticing Dutch isn't really a clever analytical point. He says his fucking name.
He's like, yeah, right, Dutch.
Might be Dutch's evil twin, you never know.
Damn.
So, I think we've covered everything that there is to spot in the trailer, you know, or everything that everyone else has spotted. If anyone else finds something that we haven't spoken about, please put in the comments down below and talk about it, because I want to know everything there is to know about this trailer.
It looks like it's set. The map may be bigger, but it looks like it is partly set in the same place.
Set in the same time period, yeah.
No, it looks like the same place, because it looks like Armadillo when the carriage rolls in.
That's what I was thinking.
It looks like Beach's Hope, where Abigail and Jack, if that is them, is. It looks like tall trees. It looks like a similar map.
So, we're not quite finished yet. So, in the shot that we're thinking could be Armadillo, same layout, but if you look in the background, Armadillo was in the middle of a desert. And there's trees in the background there, and you can see a mountain as well. So that's why I thought maybe it's not Armadillo, it's somewhere else.
No, if is that the sheriff? Does that say sheriff on the right? That's not what the sheriff was.
No, it doesn't look like anyone I've noticed before.
Oh, well.
So at first I was like, maybe that's Armadillo, but I think some of it will be like, now that looked like Beach's Hope, and if it is Jack, then it would make sense for it to be in Beach's Hope. But I'm thinking they're going to maybe mix it between old map and new map.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's probably what they're going to do.
Can you imagine if they did it something a bit like what they did in GTA with the... What's it fucking called? The place that they robbed the place in at the beginning and then you like go back.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
you
so
imagine
you
if it was
start,
like,
in one
if you
location
take
and then
a
you go to a
trip
completely new one.
to the old map. I think
Yeah.
that'd be
pretty cool.
Nostalgic.
Yeah, that would be
feelings
good.
all the way.
Yeah, although I was annoyed in GTA 5 how we couldn't get to that map.
Yeah.
you know, that
That'd be cool.
extra area.
Yeah.
If I'm playing an extra area, I kind of want to go there in the online as well, you know,
bloody
to
hell.
mess around
Knowing
with.
modern games, they're gonna make the old map a fucking DLC or some shit.
Oh god, yeah,
Can you imagine
that'd just
the
be
stuff
awful.
they're gonna do? Like, if you pay £60, then you can get a multicoloured chrome horse.
Yeah, it's Rockstar, right. Right up Rockstar's alley. Well, okay, I think we've talked about everything we can for the trailer. As I say, if you guys have any thoughts or feelings on the trailer and you want to have your say, please put in the comments down below. It'll be awesome to have a little bit of a chat. The community has exploded again. You know, the Red Dead community's been really quiet because Red Dead came out ages ago. And now that the new one's coming out, the community's exploding again. And I'm liking the return of the Red Dead community.
Yeah.
It's a good community. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, share and subscribe. It helps me out a bunch. And until next time, I shall say a good bye.
Product not yet rated.
Get over here! That didn't work. Did not work at all. No. Okay, dude. Dude! Not cool, man. We're good. Ow. Give me a challenge, boys. Come on. Give me a bloody challenge! He's absolutely destroyed. There we go. Nice. And boot.